Welcome to another Cornerstone Lesson. This lesson is entitled Front and Center and is in preparation for Sabbath, June 5th, 2021. Our key text this week says, Jesus said to the man with the shriveled hand, "Stand up in front of everyone." Then Jesus asked them, "Which is lawful on the Sabbath, to do good or to do evil, to save life or to kill?" But they remained silent. Mark 3 verses 3 and 4. Let's go to the Sabbath section of the lesson. It says here, read Luke 13 verses 10 to 17 and Mark 3 verses 1 to 6. Let's go through those. Luke 13 verse 10 to 17. Jesus heals a crippled woman on the Sabbath. On a Sabbath, Jesus was teaching in one of the synagogues. A woman was there who had been crippled by a spirit for 18 years. She was bent over and could not straighten up at all. When Jesus saw her, he called her forward and said to her, "Woman, you are set free from your infirmity." Then he put his hand on her, and immediately she straightened up and praised God. Indignant because Jesus healed on the Sabbath, the synagogue leaders said to the people, "There are 6 days for work, so come and be healed on those days, not on the Sabbath." The Lord answered him, "You hypocrites! Doesn't each of you on the Sabbath untie your ox or donkey from the stall and lead it out to give it water? Then should not this woman, a daughter of Abraham, whom Satan has kept bound for 18 long years, be set free on the Sabbath day from what bound her?" When he said this, all his opponents were humiliated, but the people were delighted with all the wonderful things he was doing. Now for Mark 3 verses 1 to 6, Jesus heals on the Sabbath. Another time, Jesus went into the synagogue and a man with a shriveled hand was there. Some of them were looking for a reason to accuse Jesus, so they watched him closely to see if he would heal on the Sabbath. Jesus said to the man with the shriveled hand, "Stand up in front of everyone." Then Jesus asked them, "Which is lawful on the Sabbath, to do good or to do evil, to save life or to kill?" But they remained silent. He looked around at them in anger, and deeply distressed with their stubborn hearts, said to the man, "Stretch out your hand." He stretched it out, and his hand was completely restored. Then the Pharisees went out and began to plot with the Herodians how they might kill Jesus. The fourth commandment of God's unchangeable law requires the observance of this seventh-day Sabbath as the day of rest, worship, and ministry in harmony with the teaching and practice of Jesus, the Lord of the Sabbath. Fundamental Beliefs number 20 that talks about the Sabbath. Read and respond to the voting questions in the What Do You Think section of this week's lesson. When I get angry, I react, and they have a scale here from 1 to 5. On the 1 side of it, it's slowly and thoughtfully. On the 5 side, it's immediately out of impulse. So where do you fall along that? It says now, where are you on the spectrum? What are the positives and negatives of this kind of response? Next one. What makes me angry? Individuals lying to protect their interests, underprivileged being neglected, children being mistreated, people you trust betraying your confidence, callous people making jokes at the expense of others. So we have read those questions, we have answered that section. What makes people angry reveals what is important to them. What makes people angry reveals what's important to them. Think about the kinds of things that you feel strongly enough about to get angry. In Luke 13 verses 10 to 17, a similar story is told about a woman who was healed in a similar way. Yet it was the synagogue leaders who got indignant. Compare what makes Jesus upset in Mark 3 verses 1 to 6 with what makes the Jewish leaders angry in Luke 13 verses 10 to 17, and see if you can identify what is most important to Jesus and what is most important to the Jewish leaders. Think about what is most important to you and the kinds of things you get angry about. Now, just remembering the story, I am looking at the people being upset, the leaders being upset that Jesus was healing on the Sabbath, and Jesus being upset because they could not see the pain that these people had been suffering. And here we have Luke 13 verse 10 to 17, the crippled woman, and woman, you are set free from your infirmity. Okay, so he's concerned about the woman. He sets her free. You hypocrites. Here it goes. You hypocrites. That's strong language. Hypocrites. You look, you would untie your ox and give it water, and your donkey. Should not this woman, a daughter of Abraham, who Satan has bound for these 18 years, be set free? So his focus was on the freedom that would come to the woman. So in Mark 3 verses 1 to 6, Jesus now looks at them in anger. Why? Because they were watching him closely and looking for a reason to accuse and condemn him for what he's doing in his ministry. They're not concerned about the man being healed. They are now going to do what? Plot to have Jesus killed. All right, so look again at the stories and see what stands out for you.